All right, what's up, Bean Apple fans? Welcome back. We are in the championship week. This is it for all the Apples to go to the Super Bowl. It's here. Season's over. 2 weeks left of football, and then it's free agency, draft prep, and we're right back into that old cycle of getting excited for another season. So before we get to that, hopefully we're looking forward to another couple of shootouts as we saw last week. Excellent games. I think the AFC championship game is going to be just as exciting as the divisional round. I'm not sure. We'll see what the NFC side's looking like, but the AFC should be fireworks again. Going to be a very exciting game to watch. So we're going to break down both of those games. We're going to predict the outcome of those games and hopefully interact a lot with you guys. We only have a couple weeks left of it, so definitely want to get your guys' thoughts on what you think the outcome of this game is going to be, who's going to win, and
Hey, Alex.
what players you're excited about. Who's going to blow up today? I mean, is Jamar Chase going to continue this ridiculous rookie season? Is Joe Burrow going to make a name for himself in that upper echelon? Is he going to push through past Mahomes? I mean, are the Rams going to wake up, knock out of that funk, or the 49ers going to have a 3-game sweep of them this season? I mean, it's going to be fun to do, but we're going to break it all down, so definitely be interactive. Let us know what you guys think. And Mark led us into this perfectly, right? So we got to start off with some news. Big news, obviously. Let's start with the most recent, just announced about, 5-10 minutes ago. Looks like
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels is headed to the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know why. It's a terrible decision, but let's talk about this. I mean, what do you...
See. I think it's a great decision for him. So this is telling me a couple things. A, Bill Belichick's not going anywhere. He's not. He's not going anywhere. Two, that team. I mean, they went what? They made the playoffs after losing a head coach, losing their, rookie wide receiver because of what happened there.
Yep.
And then lost a few other players too. So, I think it's a good place to go. They're already makeshift. Derek Carr isn't so bad. McDaniels is an offensive guy. You know, when he went to Denver, they drafted Tebow. It just wasn't it. But that offense, man, it's not too bad. I mean, you get a good running back with Josh Jacobs there. You got Derek Carr. Probably need to revamp that offensive line a little bit.
Yeah.
But also you got a couple decent wide receivers there too, and a killer tight end who missed almost the whole season in Darren Waller. So, I mean, the offensive pieces are there. Renfro has turned out to be one hell of a wide receiver. Kind of reminds me of like a poor man's Cooper Kupp, to be quite honest. So, a couple picks, a couple signings here or there, and I mean, who knows? Does Aaron Rodgers stay in Green Bay and want to go play in Vegas? Does Tom Brady come out of retirement and go to Vegas? I mean, who knows? No. Sky's the limit. But I think it's a good move for McDaniels. I love Josh McDaniels. I love what he's done the last umpteen years. But I will say I think the Pats will probably hire Bill O'Brien in the next 5 days if he wants the job.
Oh, God.
Hold on. He was a great offensive coordinator. He was a terrible exec and head coach. I get it in Houston. I completely get it. That was way out of his realm. He tried going to Houston being Bill Belichick and couldn't do it. As an offensive coordinator, I want to say there were 1, 3, and 6 the years he was the OC there. And he grew up in the Patriot system as well. So, and they still run the same offense. You know what I mean? So it's no different. I can see that. I'd be fine with that.
He's got to
as
leave
long
Alabama.
as he's not running the team. Of course he does. Of course he does.
He's at Bama. What do you want to do? Stay at Bama with Saban and just crush college football, or go back I don't know.
I'm willing to bet they probably make it financially enticing for him to come back. But who knows? Maybe they'll promote within. I don't know.
But it also seems like anybody they call up to the offensive coordinator position just runs that same, what does Denzel Washington say? It's 6 plays, works every. It's like Novocaine, just takes time. It works every time.
It's gonna work. Yes.
Yeah, that's basically the Patriots system. Is here's our plays, just call them and just repeat it until it works, and it always they end up breaking through. So. I don't know. But Mark, Jim, I think he's got his wife's birthday, so
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be able to make it. He's got the link if he can jump on, squeeze some time in. He's going to, but he's doing wifey festivities today. So
Yeah.
and yeah, Alex, last time he was in the AFC West, didn't work out so well. So my argument against McDaniels going there is, one, he sucked as a head coach the first time. We'll see if he learned anything this time. But the Bill Belichick tree does not produce head coaches. They're all terrible. Brian Flores, door's still open there, but he's already gotten fired. So we'll see what he turns into, if he even gets another head coaching job, because they're getting snatched up pretty quick now. We'll see what happens, but nobody good comes from the Belichick tree. He's already failed once. We'll see if he's matured, learned anything. But Vegas is just a disaster. It's always a disaster. I mean, even moving from Oakland to Vegas didn't change anything. It just got worse. I mean,
Well, look where they moved to.
I know.
You know what I mean? Look where they moved to. It was terrible.
They needed to move
idea.
to like. They needed to move to like, yeah, Portland,
Kansas,
somewhere.
or
Yeah.
like, or Idaho, or Iowa, you know what
Nebraska.
I mean? Somewhere, where
Nebraska.
there's nothing to do.
Exactly.
You know,
It's just terrible. I mean, Mark Davis has no idea what he's doing. Like I said, the dude doesn't even know how to ask for a haircut, like a real regular haircut that an adult has. It looks like he's the kid that got a hold of the scissors, and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, like what, in the bathroom, just giving themselves a haircut is what he looks like. So if Gruden couldn't do it, they hired a terrible GM last time. You can't just bring in an NFL analyst and expect a great GM. So it just seems like everything the Raiders do is wrong. Since as far back as when were they good? The 80s? Early 90s?
80s they were good. 90s they were good too.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then it's been a disaster.
The Tuck rule.
Yeah.
That was 2001. So they were good then too. So.
Okay. Yeah, I guess they were, but
And a couple years
a
later.
stretch.
Yeah.
It has been a stretch of disaster. I mean, taking the fastest wide receivers in the draft every year, way over where they should be drafted. Even last year, drafting Leatherwood in the first round. Shouldn't have been drafted in the first round, but just bad mistakes. And hopefully the new GM fixes that. And we'll see if McDaniels grows into a head coach, because he failed miserably the first time. So we'll definitely have to see about that. The Giants, also huge moves for them, basically stealing Buffalo, right? Just moving Buffalo south is what they're doing in this instance. But a great coaching hire. I think he's the right personality and fit for what that team is, especially coming off of the Joe Judge regime of pain and punishment and discipline that he again tried to replicate the Bill Belichick method, and it doesn't work for anybody but Bill, because he's a mad scientist is really what he is. Like, you can do that when you can outthink everybody else on the field. He's a chess master. Nobody else is a chess master.
Yes.
You can't do it unless you're a chess master. So I think that's the right move, bringing Daboll in there to kind of fix a lot of what went wrong, and bringing that GM down as well. I mean, assistant GM in Buffalo, so he was in on everything. Like he saw how everything operated. So it's not like you're bringing in a personnel person or a scout or something like that to run it. You're bringing in the guy that was working hand in hand with the GM. So a lot of experience coming right into the job. Really, really good. What's going to be interesting, exactly what Alex says here, is what does Josh Allen do now without his OC? Is that going to cause any type of hiccups bringing a new offensive coordinator in? So I know, well, the wild card game, it is what it is, but and I hate giving Bill Belichick props for anything because it pains me inside, but his body of work, I mean, when you compare it, yes, he's had that. Trust me, I enjoyed that beatdown as much as every other Patriots hater.
I didn't.
I loved every second of it, Mark, right alongside you. But there's no denying what he's done for the last 20 years. I mean, it outweighs the pluses outweigh the minuses. He's gotten his butt kicked. He's gotten his butt kicked a few times, but 90% of the time he wins those fights. So it's going to be interesting though to see like what Josh Allen does now in this division. Like, does that? We were talking about it just before this. Like, what I would love to see is the AFC East turn into a battleground. Like, hopefully Zach Wilson progresses. Hopefully Tua doesn't regress with another coaching change. Mac Jones continues to grow. Josh Allen continues his rise, and you've got an AFC East that is just for the next 20 years just stacked with elite quarterbacks just battling week in and week out. 6 times a year you're going up against the best in the league. You know what I mean? Like that would be incredible. Like we're talking about, if you had a division of Brady, Manning, Breeze, and Roethlisberger for 20 years, how exciting would that be? It'd be incredible.
Right.
Like that's what I want. I would love to see it, but
so I think Buffalo, okay. And Mark, all I'm going to say is that wild card game, 13 seconds, Mark. That's all I'm going to say. I'll never have to say anything more. 13 seconds. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But so will he be able to pull what he did in Buffalo and New York with Danny Dimes? We're going to see how good this quarterback is.
Yeah.
We're going to see it. I don't think it's there. I truly don't. I don't think the decision making is there. I think if you look at, size and kind of same type of skills, yeah. But boy, in Kansas City that game, Josh Allen was throwing freaking dimes all over the place, man. I mean, minus that 13 seconds, Buffalo had that game. They did. It was nothing Josh Allen did. And, when we start talking about Cincy and KC, I get a little bit more on it. But I'll tell you what, Buffalo looks good. I think Singletary, when healthy, is a pretty viable running back. Gabriel Davis, my God, 4 touchdowns. You know what I mean? It was just, but can he do that down in New York with the Giants? You know what I mean? Because we'll see. We've seen really good coordinators, and you mentioned the Bill Belichick tree. You're right. A lot of them don't pan out. Most don't.
0.
But boy, a lot of them don't either. I mean, you look at Saleh going to the Jets, miserable year. At times they looked worse than last year. And supposedly he was a defensive gem. So OCs and DCs,
right?
Yeah,
Takes
they're
time.
great. Of course it does. So we'll see how everything goes. But man, that Giants team, you better build that O-line. They got 2 first-round picks. I'd be going O-line both picks. They got some mock draft has them drafting another friggin' wide receiver, which would be absolutely insane. Build up that O-line. You need to see how good Daniel Jones is.
Yep.
Need to.
Yep. I agree.
Joe, it looks like comments aren't showing.
Yeah, I don't know what he's saying. Showing on the side of YouTube. I don't.
Do you have to drag them into the picture? No, aren't they normally on our picture side too?
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Actually.
There you go.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Oh, I thought he meant on the side of you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think he's talking about.
Sorry, we could see him internally, but not.
There we go. Now Alex, say something.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, so we'll see what the Giants have, but I think they did make some really, really smart moves, and we'll see what McDaniels has. But
on paper, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll see if they pan out now.
So quickly, Tom Brady calling it quits.
I got to see. No, he hasn't said anything.
He hasn't said anything, but I don't know. The reports that are coming out are from legit NFL guys. I mean, they're not.
I mean, Schefter. I mean,
yeah, it's not coming out from off the wall Twitter reports from some guy who lives 6 houses down across the street from his cousin. You know what I mean? Like they're legit reports. I know there's reports that his dad came out, which I haven't seen those ones, but I've heard the reports that his dad said he's not retiring like this. But I mean, Schefter's usually pretty spot on. So let's just say hypothetically, he's retiring.
Yeah.
From a Patriots fan, what is that to you? Like, to me, it's pure joy. Like, it's over. The reign of terror is over. But for you, I mean, what is this today? What is today?
So what I hope happens if he is retiring, first off, it's going to sadden me. Even though he's retiring as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, I want the Pats to sign him to like a 1-day contract.
Yeah, he's going to retire.
Retire as a Patriot. I mean, what Tom Brady did for New England, I mean, cannot be matched by except maybe a few other players. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, players of that type of caliber that just, turned around a franchise. Now, was it all him? Of course not. We know it's not. But he was the consistent with Belichick. You know what I mean? Them two are the consistent. I wish he would keep playing. What I found kind of crazy was he kept saying he wants to play into when he was 45.
Yeah.
And then after that last game against the Rams, man, he started talking family. You could just see it coming that it's like, this doesn't sound like Tom Brady who's coming back next year,
Yeah.
especially when he said, I feel this season. No, what did he say? I feel my career is satisfied. When he said that, and he said that on one of his podcasts that he does with, God, who is it? Guy who retired from the Cardinals, wide receiver.
Fitzgerald?
Yes. He does a podcast with Larry Fitzgerald and Bill Nance, I think, or somebody like that.
Boy, it must be nice to get special guests on your show.
And he said that he feels his career is satisfied like a week ago. And I'm like, man, he's retiring. He's not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'll miss him. I'll always love Tom Brady. I don't care what uniform he wears. I'll root for him as long as he's not playing New England. I wish we would have beat him this year because that would have been freaking awesome. But I mean, what Tom Brady did for the New England Patriots will never be matched again.
Yeah,
never.
That I will agree with. You can't do it. You can't do it, and it really is too bad that Bill even let him go. It should have been a start, open to shut type of career there in New England. It was a travesty to see him
go
to another team. But I'm glad. I'm glad for every game I didn't have to play against him. So that was great. I mean, he only had to beat the crap out of us once this year, which was really nice instead of twice.
Right.
So I do think I was shocked because I did see him go into at least 45 and then seeing what was going on from there. To say you're satisfied with your career when you lose a game like that, that's hard for me to believe. Like the competitive nature that he has to go out like that, I don't know if I really buy it. But he probably also sees that team can't stay together. So
I think 22 free agents.
Right, and they pulled some kind of a miracle last year, bringing everybody back. Eventually, that salary cap's going to catch up to you, and they're not going to be able to do that again. So, so maybe he just sees that, hey, this was probably our last real shot at it, and now the band's going to break up, right? It has to break up. So maybe he knows, like, hey, if this was our best shot and we couldn't do it, it's probably going to get worse from here. Yeah. So,
and he's 44.
Right.
You can say all you want. I want to play till 50. Man, the guy's 44 years old.
Yep.
I think. I mean, he was a passing leader this year.
I know it wasn't. He didn't play bad.
No, not one bit.
Personally, I think, and I've seen some people say it, and kind of like Mark's alluding to there, like Ben, we all knew he was done when the season started. But he didn't really start hinting until the last 3 or 4 games of the year that this was the end of it. This was his last hurrah. I think Brady deserves that, and I hate him, but I respect him in the fact that what he's done, and I think he deserves that going out that final show type of thing. So,
he said 10 years ago, Joe. I think it was 8 to 10 years ago, because somebody asked him how long he was going to play.
Yeah,
and he said, "You'll never know when I'm going to retire, because I don't want this funeral type thing, the last game, played in Cleveland, the last game played here." He didn't want it. And I think he said it before, you know what I mean? But kind of like what Alex said, and I was going to say, man, the fact he's going out on top, maybe not as a Super Bowl champion, which is what he wants. Of course,
he owns everything though.
But I'll tell you what, I mean, to be able to run the league again the way he did, and again, I don't know. You look at stats, you look at everything. I don't know how Aaron Rodgers wins MVP over him this year. I don't get that. But anyways, that's a totally different topic. But he always said he didn't want a big Tom Brady farewell tour. Yeah. He just didn't want it.
But that was also 10 years ago. It might be nice at this point. You're a lot older. It might be nice to just enjoy that year and just go out
Very true.
You know what I mean? Because when you play a season like this and you're in the playoff hunt and you're a Super Bowl favorite, that's where your mind is. You're not thinking all right, this is, I got 5 games left. I have 4 games left. I have 3. You're not relishing the moments as much because you're just consumed in the moment instead of taking it all in. So, I mean, from that aspect, for the amount of years that he played, to be able to just step back and really just enjoy one last hurrah, really take in everything. I think would be a really cool
Oh,
experience.
I would love it. I mean, I would love to watch it
So,
because the visiting stadiums would go nuts
yeah.
wherever he played his home games. I'm sure with Tampa still, I mean, they would go nuts every game. And
And
then
he's
you
got
could,
1 year left anyway.
yeah,
So.
and he probably would have redone the contract and money or something like that. But I don't know. I hope he plays one more year because he hasn't officially come out. But
Yeah.
you're right. There's a lot of people saying he is, but I mean, I guess we'll see. We're only going to know when Tom tells us, because even Bruce Arians didn't know. So, and I think he would tell the head coach before he told someone else. So
You would hope.
Yeah, and especially him. I think he would.
We'll see what happens. But I mean, I do think he deserves it, and I don't think the Jets play the NFC South next year, so he can have his tour and enjoy every minute of it.
Yes,
for all
and
I
not
care at
have
this
to
point.
worry about it.
Right, I don't have to watch him.
No, you don't.
Great. So, all right. So speaking of watching things, let's get into today's games. All right. So, here in 38 minutes, give or take 30 seconds, kickoff for the Bengals and Chiefs. Now, last week, we already recapped that, talked about that incredible game, absolutely incredible. Already listed in like the top 5 best games of all time, and without a doubt, it was. And really, to see this game, and I'm curious to see, and I'm going to make an argument for my side because I know we're not going to agree on this, but I'm curious to see how you think this one's going to go and why you think it's going to go that way. But I'm going to tell you right now, give me the Bengals to upset Kansas City at home.
So there's nothing I want more today than the Bengals to win, so my son-in-law can watch the Bengals in the Super Bowl. I truly want it for him. Also, Joe Burrow, SEC beast. Jamar Chase, SEC beast. I mean, what would be better than 2 SEC beasts playing in the Super Bowl if the Rams won too? So, but here's the problem with that, Mr. Joe.
Fire away.
Around week 7 or 8, we were bashing Kansas City. I know I was.
Yeah.
Mahomes was playing like shit. I mean, I had him on 2 fantasy teams, just absolutely destroyed me fantasy-wise. But besides that, they didn't look good. I'll tell you what. They played a Buffalo team with the number 1 ranked defense last week for starters.
Yeah.
They shredded that defense apart. I mean, I know it was back and forth, but they shredded it apart. And when they had to score, they did. When he needed Tyreek Hill to break a 66-yard touchdown in 4 seconds, he did. So, what's up, Jim? So my thing is, Kansas City is playing at the level they were a few years ago when they won the Super Bowl. They truly are. Mahomes looks amazing right now. They're getting a little bit of a running game. We kept asking who's that third guy behind Kelsey and Hill, and it's Pringle out of all players. That guy's stepping up like crazy. The O-line, Mahomes is still getting rushed, but when is Mahomes the scariest? When he's running and throwing underneath defensive ends' arms to make a first down on 3rd and 6. I mean, I'm sorry. You played, to me, I thought Buffalo was the best team in the AFC. I couldn't tell Mark that because we beat them, so that would mean we were. So, but I thought pound for pound, Buffalo was the best team in the AFC even before the year started. I truly did. But I'll tell you what, I don't see Kansas City losing today. I hope I'm wrong. What's the over-under at like 55 or some shit like that? I mean, it's
close. 54.5.
Wow. Okay.
Good call.
So there we go. So, but I see another high-scoring game, and I see it coming down to the last 4 or 5 minutes where Kansas City has to do something. But what I really hope it comes down to is that it's like a 17-16 game with 2 minutes left. Hold on now, hear me out. 17-16 game. And
they score another 30 points.
No, and that rookie kicker for Cincy comes in with no time left, and friggin' Adam Vinatieri's it and brings him to the Super Bowl. Because quite honestly,
be like a 60-yarder though. It's got to be
yes, 62, and the little streamers on the goalposts are going absolutely crazy,
spiraling.
Jim, so do I. I want Cincy to win so bad. I want my son-in-law and my poor grandson who wears Bengal gear shit to actually be able to like say, "Hey,
Wear it proudly.
I'm rooting for a winner." But unless it's a low-scoring game, Mixon's going to have 25 to 30 carries and over 100 plus for Cincy to win. That's to me the key for Cincy, because you're not going to stop that offense the way it's going to be going. So you need to control the ball when you have it. You need to take time off. You need to keep Mahomes on the side, and I just don't think Mixon has it in his legs to do it. I just don't.
All right, so
I hope so. God, I hope so. But
I agree. Well, me and you, we completely agree. Joe Mixon sucks. He's soft, and you can't count on him. You just can't. You'll get a crazy 100-yard game out of him, and then he completely disappears for like a month and a half. Right. You don't even know he's on the team anymore. So I don't put a lot of weight into him, but Joe Burrow has been playing lights out, and I think it's going under the radar a lot more than it should be. And I know that game was close last week, but Tennessee's defense always finds a way to hold teams down. Kansas City's defense is not going to do that. So I think you're going to see the explosive Bengals teams that you saw the last few weeks of the season. The same Bengals team that went in and beat the Chiefs at home a month ago is coming back. And Jamar Chase is not slowing down, and nobody could slow him down. I mean, you talk about Tyreek Hill on one side, but Jamar Chase is just as dangerous, if not more dangerous than Tyreek Hill. The defense for the Bengals, I mean, Trey Hendrickson is going to be in Mahomes' ass all day today. He's a beast off that defensive end, and he's going to be chasing Mahomes across the field. And that's what we want, right? Because like you said, you want to see Mahomes on the move, on the run, but Cincy's defense is still pretty good. My thing with this game, okay, is I think after that game last week, the emotions, the energy, everything that went into that, I know they're going to be hyped for this game, but that was a massive win. A massive, massive win last week, right? Emotional roller coaster. So I feel like a lot of people are playing that game up like that was the Super Bowl. A lot of times when those type of games happen, the team takes a step back. It's hard to maintain that level week after week. And then every time you see that with Kansas City, they get hot, they have some amazing game, and then boom, right back down to earth again, right? So, and from a fantasy perspective, you see Mahomes have that game where you're just like, holy crap. And then the whole team seems to just be like, boom, hit a roadblock. So, Honey Badger is back. He's going. Yeah. He's cleared protocol. He's going to play. But I don't know, man. This game. I mean, I've been talking about Joe Burrow and his coming out party, and I think it's going to continue. I mean, the Chiefs have a hell of a hill to climb to maintain what they did last week. That's hard to do. It's really hard to do. Mahomes is playing lights out, but he also had a stretch where they played really bad. The Bengals are playing lights out. They had a stretch that was really bad. I don't know if you remember this, but the Jets beat the Bengals. So, that doesn't add much to my point, but I did have to just
you had to say, just like I had to say, the Patriots beat the Bills.
Yeah.
Just like I had to say the Patriots beat the Bills.
So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, both teams we see can play at the highest possible level, and we've seen both teams play at disgusting levels, right? I mean, even the Bills included. They got manhandled by the Jaguars during the season. Right. Couldn't put up a touchdown against the Jaguars. So all of these teams, the offense is great, but they've all had those games where you're just, WTF, what is going on with this? So I just don't see it this week, but I do think I think what's going to end up happening is the Chiefs are coming down a notch. You can't maintain that level that they had last week. The emotions, the energy, everything was through the roof. It's very hard to maintain that type of level. And the Bengals are going to come up. I mean, that Tennessee defense was tough, but this defense is softer than what they faced last week. So I think it's going to be a shootout. But give me the Bengals to shock, and I do think it's going to come down to that leg.
I really hope you're right. I
think it's going to come down to Cincy kicking some boot at the end of the game and winning it. And that kid is ice. I mean, for a rookie kicker to come out, got iced. Still, that was what, a 51-yard field goal, I think it was, 52-yard field goal to win the game. That would have been good from probably 70. I don't know if you saw how high that went through the uprights, but that was not a squeaker. Unlike Gay last week, who couldn't get a 47-yard field goal for the
right.
short on a 47-yard. That kid would have been good from 70. That ball was not missing last week. That was, I mean, what a kick. But yeah, I mean, give me the Bengals. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna say it. Give me the Bengals for the upset, going to the Super Bowl.
I hope you're right. That's what I want. First, Alex, you're right. Terrible call to kick in the end zone. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So I just looked at the stats. So the first time these guys met, Burrow was 30 for 39, 446, and 4 touchdowns. 3 of them went to Jamar Chase, and only won by 3. I mean, that's a perfect game.
Yeah.
Josh Allen last week, almost a perfect game.
Yeah.
And still lost.
What
you know
did
what I mean?
Mahomes do in that game?
295 and 2 touchdowns. So that's what I mean. So even with a mediocre game, they only lost by 3. Joe, I hope you're right, because I want Cincy to win. I want. But if you're asking me who do I think is gonna win, it's so hard to bet against Kansas City right now, and they're playing at home. And I agree. A lot of times there's a letdown. So where I think KC is better, like I said a few minutes ago, if they need that running game for Cincy to happen. Yeah. Because where Mahomes starts picking up that momentum is when they're going touchdown. You know what I mean? It's, man, they just get in that rhythm, and both quarterbacks can do it again. You know, I hope it's as exciting as the Buffalo game. My only concern is that Kansas City would win that too, if it came to a shootout like that. So first game, I just looked, Mixon had 12 carries for 42 yards. Yeah. I mean, that was week 7.
He's terrible.
I mean, come on.
He's terrible.
Come on. You need a running game. You need
Cincy, draft a running back this year, please. Draft a running back.
Let him go and get anybody. I just hate the what are you talking about?
The Chief? Did you not see that article about the Chiefs donating how much
money to Josh Allen?
A ton of money to Josh Allen's hospital. Like, I don't even remember. It was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money.
What was like $80 something thousand or something like that?
So
I mean,
Mark,
that's classy. Not only do you go and beat the team, but then you donate money to his cause out of respect. Like, that's not the Patriots fans. The Patriots fans just rub in how much the Jets suck all the time.
Yes, absolutely. So
they don't donate money to a New York hospital when they beat the Jets.
Well, they do donate to the Boston hospitals. But anyways, I'm not even going to get into that. Not even going to get into that. All I'm saying is, so you're saying like what teams do when they win? Fans do when they win, Mark? Is that what you're saying?
That's what he's saying. What do you got?
I'm betting on Chiefs to win. Better coaching, Arrowhead is loud as hell. Yeah, I mean, again, 4 straight years. But so a lot of people are asking me too about Mahomes. Should he be considered one of the greatest because he's gone to 4 straight AFC championships games? Stop it. Just stop right there. Donovan McNabb did that, made it to 1 Super Bowl. Jim Kelly went to 4 Super Bowls and lost. Does anybody ever say, is Jim Kelly one of the greatest quarterbacks? No, he lost 4 straight Super Bowls.
Right.
I get it. He's been to 4 straight, went to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1. You know, come talk to me if he can do this for 20 years. Or is he going to make 10 straight Super Bowls? I don't know. But I'll
10 straight AFC championship games. That's a discussion.
Not if you only win 1 Super Bowl.
It's not clutch, but but look at
you know what I call that, Joe? Wanting track power. I call that track power.
Look at the quarterbacks in this league. Brady's ruined it for everybody because
I know he has.
If you win 2 Super Bowls, you used to be a surefire Hall of Fame quarterback. Yeah. 2 Super Bowls was unheard of. 3 Super Bowls, you were you were in Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana, Steve Young territory of levels. But now Brady with his friggin' collection of Super Bowls, you know, he's kind of tarnished it. Like, look at Peyton, 2, Eli, 2. Ben's got
Breeze
2,
1.
Breeze 1.
Ben
Philip
has
Rivers
2.
0. Yeah. I mean, you know, these were great quarterbacks that, you know, and that's the pinnacle. 2, 3. Aaron Rodgers 1. Brett Favre 1. Like, you know, Andrew Luck 0. Like, even though he didn't play as long as he should have.
Speaking of that, did you see pictures of Andrew Luck?
Oh, it's horrific.
God, I seen a meme that said he looks like some Irish sheep herder on the hills of Ireland.
Oh, that's probably the best one.
He kind of had
He
the
did.
hair going, and
Oh, he looked terrible.
and he
And they
looked
just
like a
just
sheep
threw a
herder
sport coat on him.
in friggin' Ireland. I thought that was
Yeah.
the greatest thing
He's
ever.
in like a Kmart special polo shirt, and then
Poor-
they throw a sport coat on him. Like,
Poor luck.
yeah, they just saw him. Hey, man, why don't you come down and hang out with RG3, who's dressed and ready to go for this thing? And oh, he looked terrible. I said he looked like a 1980s VCR repairman, but it was it was just terrible,
Awful.
terrible look. But yeah, this game's going to be exciting. I wish, and I know we have a lot of 49ers friends and stuff, but I wish this was the late game.
I know.
really
I do
'cause
too. I do too.
I get it. 49ers Rams, a straight West Coast game. It makes sense, but this one's gonna be fireworks, and it's gonna set the NFC game up for failure. But
Agreed.
so quickly, my prediction for this game: 33-30 Bengals.
So when they played the first time, it was 34-31. I'm going with that again, but this time Kansas City. But I want to be wrong. I truly want to be wrong. I want to be. I hope to God I'm wrong.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, so let's switch it to the afternoon. 49ers Rams. 12-5 Rams, 10-7 49ers. We loved the 49ers coming into the season, thought they were going to be in this position. I also said Seattle was going to come in last, and you guys said I was crazy.
And you were right.
And I was right. So
Yes, you were.
I did also say Arizona was going to win the division. They almost did it, but fell apart at the end. So
Just like last year.
Just like last year. But Rams only 3.5-point favorites, 45.5 over under on this. Big, almost a 10-point step down from the first one, which is also why this should be the first game. But nevertheless, this will probably be the one that explodes because we're not expecting it to.
Of course
but so I know from talking to you, we're going opposite sides on this one too. So I'm going to let you start this one. Tell me why you think the Rams have a chance to win this game.
So the 49ers have beat them twice, 31-10 and 27-24, 24-21, whatever it is. So the Rams traded for Stafford for this reason. Yeah. They wanted a quarterback, and look at Matt Stafford. I mean, you came from Detroit. It's like almost going from. This reminds me of Eddie Murphy in Trading Places, where he's living on the street, he's poor, and then the Duke brothers pick him up. Bring him in the caddy, then he gives him Mortimer's house and his Harvard jacket, and now he's rich. This is what it is. Stafford right now, man, he's sitting in that caddy driving the Super Bowl is in LA. It's in his home stadium. It's insane. Yeah. So Jimmy G, I love me some Jimmy G, I do. Guy still doesn't put up numbers, but he wins, so that's all that matters. We can talk maybe on our next draft show about, wow, did they really mess up by trading up for Lance and not keeping Jimmy G? But that's for a different convo. How does the Niners beat them the third time? I just don't see it. And quite honestly, when Robert Woods went out and they traded for OBJ gives them a little bit more spark, I think, than Robert Woods. We all judged OBJ by his time in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield, and we see what happens when you play with a shitty quarterback. He comes to the Rams. Sorry, I had to get that one in too, because I hate Mayfield.
I know.
So he comes over.
Where's Mahoney when you need him?
Yeah, where's Matt? Come on, Matt, pop on and tell me to go F myself.
Give some ridiculous stats about how Matthew Stafford's the 97th best quarterback in the
NFL with 41 touchdowns. To me, the Rams, they're with Cam Akers and Sony Michel. I love the two-headed monster at running back. Tyler Higbee's, he pops his head out. It always seems like on clutch third downs. You got OBJ on one side. You got Cooper Kupp, 1,900 yards this year and 15 touchdowns.
He's a beast.
I just think there's too much LA. That defense is good. What happened to Green Bay last week? I don't know. To be quite honest, I don't know how you lose that game. Scoring on the first drive. Yeah, the guy can't win. I hate to say it. He does. But on the other spectrum, they better keep an eye on Deebo Samuel that whole game. Because I'll tell you what, if you're picking any DraftKings, Deebo Samuel should be in there. Jamar Chase should be in there, and Joe Burrow should be in there. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
And Cooper Kupp.
Force
feed it.
If you can afford that many $7,000 and $8,000 players, but I think the Rams are going to win. I think there's too much offense. Defense can only carry so much. And to me, Jimmy G's going up against a tough D, but they did beat him twice already. So
yes.
I just think it's hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season. I mean, ask New Orleans last year. Ask New Orleans when they played Tampa last year.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to tell you why you're wrong.
Please do.
I'm going to tell you why you're wrong on this one.
My wife does it all the time.
The Rams did everything they possibly could to lose that game last week. Everything they could. They played a disgusting game of football. Absolutely.
They did. They still won.
Disgusting. And they did. They squeaked it out. Luckily there at the end, Cooper Kupp came up huge and just basically took over that game. And that's great. But for some reason, the 49ers just own them. It's almost like the Jags-Colts situation there. Like, for some reason, Indy cannot go into Jacksonville and win a game. I don't know if it's the water, the weather, the air, the temperature, whatever it is, they can't do it. It seems to be the same situation here. Whatever it is that the 49ers do, the Rams can't figure out a way to get past it. They barely got out of their own way last week. And I'm telling you what, Deebo Samuel he's another level. He really is. And Brandon Ayuk he's woken up too. I loved it. I was really hoping that when he was in the doghouse and Denzel Mims was in the doghouse, they were going to use that 49ers Jets connection this season and just go ahead and just swap those out and give me Brandon Ayuk. But never happened. But he's come into his own as well. Their running game, even though they don't have a big name running back, their running backs produce.
They do.
They really do. Mitchell puts up numbers. Wilson puts up numbers. I mean, when you need a running game, they've got it. And Deebo Samuel is another running back. He is your complete gadget type of player. He can catch, he could run, he could throw, he could do everything you need. So Jimmy G continues to do what he does. That 49ers defense is what we were raving about going into this. They're all healthy. Last year, every single person got hurt on the defensive side, and that's why they ended up with being able to trade up to the number 3 pick. They went from 10 to 3, I think it was, to get up there, but had no business even drafting that low to begin with. But now completely healthy defense, and you're seeing that defense let loose. Bosa is crushing quarterbacks there. I mean, nobody can even get him. It's all the only way you're slowing him down.
He really is a freak of nature.
The only way you slow him down is if you hold him and hope to get away with the penalty. I mean, that's about it. So
it's probably safer too.
Right. So Stafford is going to get pressured a lot. Is he going to make mistakes? Probably, because he's known for just chucking the ball up and making those mistakes. He's done it his whole career, and luckily he had Megatron there to bail him out in triple coverage for a better part of a decade there. But I don't know what the 49ers have on the Rams, but they own it. They just do. Jimmy G is going to do enough to win this game. Deebo Samuel is going to be Deebo Samuel. Nobody has an answer for him. So I do think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I don't think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think both teams are going to come out. They're going to have some offensive tricks to come with this and get a win, but I'm going to say that the 49ers continue this run. They sweep the Rams in the season. It just feels like that game that the Rams screw up. Like they tried to screw up the last one. Nobody's taken the 49ers seriously. And I think it's one of those games that when we talk about build up and letdowns, last week going up against Tampa, knocking out the defending Super Bowl champions, that was an emotional roller coaster as well. It took everything they had to get through that game. And I would not be surprised, and I know that they've lost twice, it's a division rival, but I would not be surprised if you have that mental letdown going into this game after such a big game. And this is one that you're just kind of expected to win at this point. I wouldn't be surprised at all. 49ers come in here, defense plays hard, you get some turnovers, couple 3-and-outs. Next thing you know, the Rams are playing from behind. Stafford's making mistakes, throwing the ball into coverages, and the whole thing just unravels because the pressure is going to mount real quick at home. On top of that, speaking of at home, that whole like don't sell your tickets to 49ers fans thing,
Yes.
that's going to be a home game for the 49ers. Because from what I'm reading is 49ers fans took that as a direct challenge to now buy tickets to that game. So so they went and by saying don't sell your tickets, went ahead and basically invited the 49ers fans to
go buy tickets.
Yeah,
it was stupid to even say.
Right. Hold my beer. I'm going to buy tickets.
Right.
So it's going to be really loud at the Rams home game when they're on offense. That's all. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a 49ers home game is what's going to end up happening in this one. And that's going to pump the 49ers up even more. So I'm telling you, 49ers are going to upset. They're going to the Super Bowl.
So you think that, but what? So first, let's pick the scores. Then I'll ask you this question. First, I'll pick. So I'm going to say Rams 27, 27-17. 27-17 Rams. I think it's going to be double digit win.
Okay. I'm going to agree with you on the top score.
Okay.
I'm going to say 27-24.
Oh, close. Okay.
I'm going to say it's a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but 27-24. We're going to have two very close games, very exciting games.
Nice.
But I'm going to say the 49ers pull it out at the end, probably with another field goal.
So there's our predictions. Who do you want to see in the Super Bowl, Joe? Who do you want to see there? Never mind who you think is going to win. Who do you want to see?
Oh, man. I would rather see the 49ers.
Would you really?
I would. And it's not against Stafford. It's OBJ. No. I don't think OBJ deserves it.
Gotcha.
His antics alone, his diva mentality, like I don't want it rewarded. I don't want that action of me above the team to be rewarded. So it's really, if you would have asked me in the middle of the season, I would have picked the Rams. But he's always been this me player. He mead his way out of Cleveland, got onto this team, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that rewarded with even a trip to the Super Bowl, much less a win or a loss. But otherwise, I would love to see Stafford. I think he deserves it. He suffered immensely in Detroit for 12 years. Tried his hardest to get that team to win and couldn't do it. He deserves it. I love Cooper Kupp as well. Very deserving of it. But for me, the OBJ thing, I can't buy off. I can't buy off on the individual over the team mentality, and that's exactly what he is. So the 49ers, though, I mean, Debo definitely deserves it, plays his heart out. It'd be interesting to see also what happens if Jimmy G wins another Super Bowl. Like what exactly like you alluded to that we're going to have to talk to in the offseason. If he wins it, what do you do? How do people explain trading up to get Trey Lance? Yeah.
How does anybody explain that?
I don't know.
Because you can't start him now. Right? You know what? Like Alex was saying, Jimmy G hasn't thrown a touchdown in 3 weeks. I had to go look at that because I didn't know if I believed that. Sorry, Alex, for not trusting you. My goodness. He may not throw another touchdown for the next 2 weeks. Who knows? Yeah. But even if he doesn't, even if he has a touchdown this week and then wins, kind of like Mark's saying, over Cincy, how do you answer that? How do you answer the mail on drafting a quarterback that high? Giving up two number ones and a 3, I think. You know what I mean? So
for a quarterback who has 16 college starts or something like that.
And we talked about that at during our draft show. So if you guys are just chiming in, just start with us like in the middle of the year. We did a phenomenal draft show. Check it out. We talked about other quarterbacally.
Yep. But there's a condensed highlight video too that you can just watch the highlights.
That I'm sad panda. I'm like the sad Michael Jordan meme in that. Especially when Joe reminded me today when Chicago traded up, and I think I went pale. I went pale because I'm a Justin Fields guy. I was a Justin Fields guy, but anyways, I mean, what happened? So I asked you that question. I want to see the Rams in Cincy. I think that'd be a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, I don't want to see San Francisco because I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Maybe not so low scoring as the Pats and Rams a few years ago when it was 13-3.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be a little bit low scoring. Probably the biggest shootout would be KC and the Rams or Cincy and the Rams. You know what I mean? I think you'd see a pretty good shootout there. But I think it's a fun weekend for football, though. Great weekend for football.
It is. Like we were talking about before the game, these two AFC games, the divisional and the championship, are going to beat the Super Bowl. They are going to be better games. I mean, last week's was incredible, and I said that going into it, that I thought last week's game was going to be the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that game's going to get topped. I don't think you can. I mean, like we said, that's already a top 5 game in NFL history. It's already being labeled as a top 5 game, which is incredible. So how do you top that? I don't know if it's even possible to do. But I agree. I love Patrick Mahomes is incredible to watch. That offense is incredible to watch. But this Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase thing is something
insane.
Special.
Yeah,
it really is, and it's really fun to watch. And I like, and I guess because I am an underdog, I like seeing these guys come on. I mean, since he's been the doormat.
Terrible forever. Yeah.
Forever. I mean, yeah, you talk about it. You go back to before text messages existed. They haven't won a playoff game. And now, like, we don't even know how to function in life without a text message. And they've never even won a game since we've done that. I mean, a generation has grown up without seeing a playoff win.
Right.
Just a playoff win. That's insane. So, I mean, it's the underdog thing you like to see. The big thing is a lot of bandwagon guys, like I put on Facebook. Like, there's a huge migration leaving Tampa Bay now, headed towards Kansas City, of bandwagon fans, because they just we followed Brady south. Now Brady's gone. Patrick Mahomes is pretty awesome. Let's just jump on the Kansas City. Yeah, so I would love to see it. I don't know if it's going to happen though, and like Mateo's saying, that O-line is bad.
That's terrible.
That's the nerve-wracking thing.
Terrible.
Here is Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times last week.
Yeah.
9 times. Ferris Bueller was able to fix that. And and Joe he can't do it. So they are going to have to address that. If they keep going, no matter what, whether they go on or not, they have got to get him offensive line help. They made the right choice going with Jamar Chase. And we were saying go with Sewell, get some protection for Joe Burrow. They still desperately need that, but Jamar Chase was the correct call in the draft. Absolutely lights out, but God forbid Joe Burrow goes down again. Yeah, you can't keep getting hit like that and bouncing back up again. So they have got to get him help. They have to get him help if they want to build any type of serious contender there in Cincy. They have to. They've got the star.
Completely agree. Yeah, now build up the O-line like we thought they were going to do. And Mark, I agree. Nothing's going to top that Bills-Chiefs game. But if you look at these matchups, potentially the next couple weeks, I think today is going to be a very similar game. Maybe not as exciting, but I think very similar to the Cincy Bill. Very similar to the Bills-Chiefs game. And then, I mean, either Cincy or Kansas City, if they play the Rams, man, there's 2 teams that can also put up some points. So, again, that game was insane. I was on the edge of my seat the whole fourth quarter, and I got a good story about Draftkings after Joe when we get offline.
Okay.
Crazy swing of money, let's put it that way. After Tyreek Hill caught a pass, but I'll tell you the story about that.
A positive or a negative swing?
100% negative. I mean, the most negative you can ever talk about, and we'll talk about it. But and also, Mark, you know what? You're right. The elite quarterbacks are there. Allen, Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert. I mean, think about the NFC though too. You had Brady, or still may have him. You got Rodgers. You got Dak. Dak is still. I don't know if he's elite yet. He's definitely on the top. But you're right. AFC and a lot of young quarterbacks in the AFC. They have the potential to kind of take that next step. I mean, they truly do. So I think the tides are turning to where, Breeze, Rodgers, all these guys kind of ruled, and Brady was kind of alone. Now you got, I mean, 4-headed monster right there. But the only thing is, unfortunately, if they don't win, numbers are just numbers then. How great is Herbert going to be if he only wins 4 or 5 games a year?
No, it's true.
It's easy to play with no pressure. It is easy to play with no pressure.
So quickly, speaking of DraftKings, so I just threw a lineup together talking
Oh.
about what we were doing, and
Yeah.
I got one together. I know there's only 4 minutes left, but
Let's see here.
check this baby out. Joe Burrow, Jerick McKinnon, Mitchell, Chase, Cup, Debo, Uzuma, Higbee, Bengals defense.
So I put one together as well. Was that in the $3 one? That's the only one I can find.
Yeah. I mean, I can't submit anything from here, but
Oh, so
but you can build that stack of wide receivers.
So I got Mahomes, Mixon, McKinnon, Samuel, Chase, OBJ, Higbee, Pringle, and the Rams. That's not bad. And I still got $500.
Oh, wow.
So
You
I'll
can't
tell
get
you
rid of
what,
Mixon?
Joe. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, throw that into $3 lineup.
Hold on a
and I'll
second.
split it with you.
Yeah, and if I win, then wait, is that one closed? Oh man, I think all these are.
They all full up.
Let's see. Son of a nutcracker.
I guess we should have started with more
Did
than
they
3 minutes.
really?
Yeah.
How'd they all fill up? I mean, unless I want to spend $100 or $448. I think I'm good. I think I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Wait. So Joe, real quick, and everyone else. So there is a captain's mode one where it is all right. So a captain. Who do we want as a captain?
Captain mode for which game?
All four, but I can only pick one.
You can only pick one. I don't know. Burrow?
See, I'm thinking Burrow. He's actually really cheap in this. Wait, no, is this? Oh, this is just the Rams 49ers.
Ah, that's why Burrow's cheap.
So Debo. I'll go Debo as a captain.
Okay.
And then all the flex players. Oh man, that's just 2 games.
Should just be one game, right?
Yeah, just the one.
Yeah, you're doing the showdown captain mode. Yeah, you just gotta pick the one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
See, I don't like this. I don't like this one. Should I pick up Nate Sudfeld for $6,000? How is he $6,000?
I don't know.
How can he be $6,000? You know what? I think I'm going to get out of this. I don't like it. If it was the other one, I would probably do it. So
yeah.
But yeah, that one's filled up 19,000 people, in that other one, all closed up. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, that sucks.
But oh well. Next week, well, in 2 weeks, Joe, I say we do a Draftkings and we'll put together something, and then we'll try and break the bank.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time. Do a good DraftKings show. So
yes.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it with that. So I'm saying Bengals, 49ers, Super Bowl. You're saying Chiefs, Rams, Super Bowl.
Yes.
So either right, wrong, or somewhere in the middle. We'll see how.
Alex, where you going? PCSing?
He's getting out.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Last day of football in Washington. Is it that time already, Alex? You keep saying you're getting out, but like March is a long ways away. Anyway. All right. Yeah, he's going to be a Mr. Davis here.
Nice. Good for you.
Pretty soon.
Good for you.
Heading back to Kansas. Can you believe that? Somebody's getting out of the military and moving back to Kansas?
That's where the Raiders should have moved. They should have moved to Kansas.
Then you could have bought season tickets for like $13.
Season tickets, yes.
All right, guys. Well, enjoy football. We'll see, hopefully, some very exciting games. And then get ready for the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. It's going to be an absolute blast. So we'll recap these games on the other side and have a week off. I don't know what we're going to do and figure out something.
Talk about the Super Bowl again. Well,
Yeah.
Trust me, we can have a couple chats about this.
We could. It's the Super Bowl. So,
absolutely.
All right. Well, have a great Sunday, guys. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you on the other side. Later.